It's pretty safe to assume that most people are against war. Most people are against needless human suffering. And obviously all of our hearts break for the human beings that are suffering as a result of this spat that's going on in Ukraine. But people are conflating standing with Ukraine, meaning you stand with the people who are suffering. All of us are for that. Our hearts break for all of these people that are being persecuted and are the collateral damage of this situation. But standing with innocent civilians is not the same as standing with the country and what they're fighting about. So many people fail to follow the money and consider the why. Who benefits from this? Who sees an upswing from this? A detective doesn't just gather evidence, they also search for motive. In most cases, it seems like we haven't even collected all of the evidence yet. They haven't even collected all of the evidence at the scene, yet people are already deciding who committed the crime. This is what the emotional driven narrative does. You see people suffering and you automatically assume whomever is the aggressor. You immediately side with the same mainstream flows of information that have been lying to you all along. Yet in this particular case, we're just gonna gobble it up. The Russian military has over 1 million active service members, and the population of Ukraine is 44 million, just slightly bit larger than the population of the state of California. There are a lot of complexities and different things happening simultaneously right now, but one thing we can all be sure of, what they tell you initially is very rarely true. What they try to pump down your throat is very often misleading. Quite possibly the most obvious indicator that not everything is what it seems is who is for this. Who are the ones that came out straight away saying it's this, be mad at these people, these are who to blame, who's agreeing with which side. And then think about all the other things they've done in the past. But on top of everything, it would be real cool if more people realize that you are seeing what they want you to see. The information that's being pushed in front of you is algorithmically driven or intentionally driven. This is what they want you to, this is what they want you to focus on. Yet people here are raising money for people in Ukraine. Yeah, there's people that are suffering in Ukraine, but there's people suffering in your neighborhood. There's people suffering on the block down the street from you. There's so much suffering going on in the world. There's so many other bad things that are happening simultaneously, yet this is where they want you to focus your attention. Yet people are so quickly and easily persuaded to dive right balls deep into this without even considering how many other things are happening simultaneously. Yet they choose their side. They pick aggressors. They pick and decide who's guilty of the crime without even doing enough research to listen. What did both sides say? What's the history? What's the past? What's the intent? What are they asking for? What are their demands? No one even looks into it. They're just like, I stand for it. It's like, you're not helping. And this is just another symptom of a far greater problem that's been going on for 4 years and beyond, which is that not enough people pay attention regularly. Not enough people do enough research. Not enough people have enough patience and depth of understanding to process what's actually going on. They pick a side, they sound off, and in their quest to be first, their quest to act on their emotional beliefs, they start muddying up the waters and creating the fog of war. And ultimately, what does this lead to in the end? Oh, you're with them? You're not with them? How could you? That's disgusting. I'm unfollowing you. It's like, dog, don't you understand that this is creating more divide? Who's winning as a result of your division? Who's winning? Who's benefiting? The military-industrial complex is cashing checks. Who does the price of oil benefit right now? And then they're trying to say, oh, we need to be energy independent by pushing more green this, more green that. Who benefits from that? People are not following the money. They're not understanding the far greater picture because they're being emotionally manipulated by the imagery that oftentimes isn't even real of what they think is going on right now, which is distracting you from all the other things that are going on. And then people will go and fight with one another because you don't do this, you don't that. You didn't even look into it. The reality of this world is that so much more of this stuff is going to happen. And this happens to be the first major conflict that's playing out on TikTok, that's playing out on social. And all of us, everybody that's yelling, everybody that has a voice and has a platform, they're abusing it. And it's to the detriment of all of us. But we need to be doing more research because rest assured, we've all said it a million times, more is coming. There is another crisis right around the corner. And if we fall victim to this manipulation now, what about when it's in your neighborhood? Here's a news flash. It already is.